Okay, we are moving on to lesson 7.1 through 7.3. We are going to start talking about powers, exponents, and bases. Anytime you have something to a given power, let's say 2 to the third power, you are going to multiply that 2 times 2 times 2. So it's a power of 3, means that you multiply 2 3 times. You do not multiply 2 times 3. You multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 2, which is 8. That is how we work with powers. As far as our base goes, our base is the number that is being multiplied however many times. The exponent is a number of times the base is multiplied. So we're going to be working with some powers and exponents over the next couple of days. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and talk about going between radical and exponential form. So we have two different ways to write powers. So the first one, let's say we have x to the a over b. We can change that so that as the square root of x to the a, where b goes in this little section right here. So basically what we're doing here is we're going between exponential form, so with exponents, to radical form. Okay, remember we worked with radicals at the beginning of the school year. So if we have something like x to the ab, then when we rewrite it as exponential form, we rewrite it as x to the a under the radical where b goes in here, telling us if it's a square root, a cube root, etc. Hopefully this will make more sense when we go ahead and do some examples. So let's start with that. Let's say we have x to the 3/4. If I wanted to convert that to radical form, that would become, well, my a is my 3, my b is my 4, and my x goes in here. We said my a is 3 and my b is 4. Okay, so you're just filling in between the two. Let's say we have something like we're going the opposite way. The 5th root of 2x to the 3rd. This is going to then be, okay, well, what's inside is 2x. We're going to leave it in parentheses. And our a is 3, so that's going to go on top. And our b is 5. We will go through more examples of these in class. Now we're going to talk about some exponent rules. When we are dealing with rules of exponents, we're basically going to be using those rules to simplify a series of exponents. So to start off, multiplying powers with the same base. So let's say you have something like x to the a times x to the b. You are always going to add the powers and keep the base the same. So these guys have the same base. Their base is x, okay? So this is going to end up being x to the a plus b. So a more specific example would be if I had x squared times x to the 5th. My base stays the same, and I add my two numbers together to get x to the 7th. Something that might come up is that you have something like 3x to the 5th times 2x to the 3rd. Okay? In this case, you need to make sure that you multiply the coefficients. Okay? The coefficients in this case are 3 and 2. So before you add the exponents, you're actually going to multiply these coefficients. 3 times 2 is 6. My bases are x, so we're going to keep x the same. And then we add the exponents. 5 and 3 is 8.